we went to the next bar, which was his main watering hole, which is called Stadler's, and that's some miles away, and that's where there were, I don't know, 500, 600, 700 people were there. And I thought they were going to turn the limousine over. We had a riot when I got out, and couldn't get into the building. They were crowding us, crushing us so much. We finally got inside the building, and then it was an incredible crowd around the booth where I was. So I got up and stood on the top of the booth and addressed the room. We got everybody quiet. Said, okay, this is the way we're going to do it, folks. I'm going to go in this back room in here with a pool table in it, and you're going to come in one at a time, and I'm going to give you a hug and a kiss, and you can take a snapshot. So that's the way we did it, and we went in there, and we were 4 hours getting through the crowd.
Oh, my goodness.
And they stood in the rain, Karen. They stood in the rain outside where they had to come in. The one door was out from outside, so everybody that came in, I put my arm around them for a snapshot. They were all wet, you know. And I can't believe people stood in the rain for 3 hours to watch the Virginian, but they did in Ireland, and it was a very humbling experience. These people just over there just absolutely loved the show and loved my character and loved me, and it's well, I told you before, I haven't had this much attention in 40 years, and we didn't even sign autographs there because we weren't set up for that. We couldn't have gotten through that crowd in that time anyway. But everybody got a snapshot, and everybody got a hug, and went on their merry way. And at that point, an old man, blind, he couldn't see anything, being led by his daughter. He must have been in his 90s, and he walked in and he said, I want to give you this. I can't see anymore, but when I could see, I watched the Virginian, and I think you're wonderful, and blah, blah, blah. And he handed me a solid gold watch, big pocket watch, which is an Elgin, and it's probably 100 years old anyway. And I don't know, I'm going to take it to my friendly neighborhood jeweler and have him appraise it. But it's an absolutely beautiful watch, and I guess he couldn't see it anymore, and he was giving it to me. And
wow.
out of the blue, I couldn't believe that the guy walked in and gave me that watch, and walked out, and I never got his name or anything. I mean, I don't even know how to track him down to send him a thank you note, but maybe I can get his name from the manager there, the owner and manager of that bar, who wears an authentic American cowboy hat. He's the only place in Ireland where I saw real cowboy hats, except for some wonderful people whose hat I'm wearing right now. They're called Kelly. That's K-E-L-L-E, Kelly County Regulators in Northern Ireland, and that's a separate club formed there for SASS, for Single Action Shooting Society, which I guess you're familiar with, aren't you?
Yes,
Okay. Well, they've got a SASS unit there, and they came in costumes and beautiful outfits they had, and showed me pictures of others that they'd done. And they've been very active in the SASS club, and they've been here shooting at our World Championships and all that. So,
yeah,
real nice to meet them, and they invited me to come to Northern Ireland next time and see them up there, and we may do that.
They're friends on your MySpace. That's Ulster Ranger.
Oh yes, Ulster Rangers. Okay, well that's good, and they were there in all their finery, and they looked great. And but these boys at the bar, 2 or 3 of them had authentic Resistals or Stetsons. You know, Resistol, as you know, owns Stetson now, and they're beautiful. Had real beautiful cowboy hats. The other ones, the guys that think they have a cowboy hat have cowboy hats made out of leather, you know, or corduroy or something. So a lot of them try to make that into a cowboy hat, which is perfectly all right. If they want to go punch cows in a hat like that, they go right ahead. You know, in a leather cowboy hat, your head would sweat off to a nubbin. It'd sweat down to a nubbin in working cattle.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, well, leather doesn't breathe, you know, so you'd have a hard time staying on the horse very long. Your head wouldn't be there after a while. You'd lose 2 pounds out of your scalp. But anyway, funny local custom. customs. And of course, every day that we were doing this, or nearly every day, we were getting a wonderful treatment from Tom Griffin, who I think I told you about. He's the fellow that has this plexus bioenergy. And he treated Carl and me both because we met him over here in Houston, and he started treating our various maladies, like Carl Ann's neuropathy and my sciatica and so forth. And he really made a difference. He really, really helped us this time. Carl Ann is walking better around the house than she has in the last couple of years. And she's not using her walker, so that's really encouraging. And I have generally much less pain for my sciatica since he's been treating us than I did before. It doesn't. Some days I don't even have. It doesn't even bother me all day long. So.
Well, that's great.
That's a success story. I don't know how he does it. I wish I understood more about it. But they move their hands around your body and shake them vigorously. They hardly ever touch you. If they do touch you, just a bare little graze. But most of the time, they're about 2 inches from your body, and what they do is work with your frequencies in your body, which they somehow seem to sense the individual frequencies, and they work the pain. You feel the pain go right out through the bottom of your feet, and it was quite a phenomenon. But he worked with us every day, and took us on a. Well, he was the one the first time we went to the castle. He took us on that trip, so he was just wonderful people and great friends. And Tom and Tina Griffith and their lovely daughters, Avril and Emily, who just really made us feel at home. We visited their house and all that. They were with us constantly, so taking care of us. So that was a wonderful addition to the trip to Ireland. And again, we got to Stadler's there, and they had a horse for me saddled up out in front, which I couldn't get on because of my sciatica, but a really nice horse. I wanted to get on and ride off into the sunset, but I couldn't. My leg wouldn't stand it, so I couldn't do it. But anyway, we where are we now?
Okay, well, Saturday was your autograph signing at the Western.
Yeah, that's right, and that was a big day, about 6.5, 7 hours there, with a crowd coming through, and without ever getting up to go to the bathroom, And the next day, Sunday, at the Claremorris Festival, agricultural fair, it's in its 90th year, and they broke all records with attendance. And we had another 6.5, 7 hour session there at a tent there, and the crowd never never disappeared. We had a rope thing set up where they come in and stand in line, like you go into a bank, to go through the ropes. And everybody was very orderly and came in, and they'd sit there and waited for hours and hours and hours and hours, and nobody ever complained. So it was an amazing day.
One comment that was made in the lines was, "I've waited over 40 years for this. A few hours isn't going to make any difference."
Well, that's the kind of attitude they had, and they were so thrilled that I'd come.